Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome to another episode of Vehicles of War Thunder. In this episode we will be covering the Grumman F3F, a carrier-based biplane fighter aircraft for the United States Navy, and in turn also the United States Marine Corps. This aircraft's country of origin is the United States. The Grumman F3F was, to put it simply, an improved version of the F2F, and was the last biplane fighter that the US Navy put into service. The aircraft was ordered on October 15, 1934, with the XF3F1 prototype being based off of the F2F1, with some modifications that would go on to make the F3F1. The F3F was considered to be easier to handle and more maneuverable than the F2F. During flight testing, the aircraft crashed, killing the test pilot Jimmy Collins, who on March 20th, 1935, was performing a series of 10 test dives to test the limits of the aircraft, and while the first 9 dives were completed successfully, on the 10th dive, from 18,000 feet, or 5,486.4 meters, the wings and engines separated from the aircraft, pulling the fuselage into a flat spin. An accelerometer had recorded that Collins had pulled 14 Gs during the dive. On May 17, 1935, another prototype crashed after the test pilot, Lee Galbach, put the aircraft into a 10-turn right-hand spin at the U.S. Naval Air Station at Anacostia. Galbach was able to get out in time, and on June 20, 1935, a third prototype was ordered from the undamaged components of its predecessor, with some modifications to overcome problems encountered during spins. A new set of trials began July 10, 1935, with the test flights going well enough for the aircraft to be put into production. The F3F1 was powered by a 650 horsepower Pratt & Whitney Twin Wasp Jr. R1535-84 14-cylinder twin-row radial engine. In August 1935, the United States Navy placed a production order of 54 F3F1s, with the first to be delivered in 1936 to the squadrons VF-5B USS Ranger and VF-6B the USS Saratoga, with who they continued to serve until 1940. The XF3F2 was followed by 81 production aircraft, making the F3F2 the most satisfactory single-seat fighter developed for the U.S. Navy up to that point. The F3F2 served with VF-6, the USS Enterprise, and with the U.S. Marine Corps squadrons VMF-1 and VMF-2. The F3F2 is the model of the F3F available in War Thunder. The final production model of the F3F was the F3F3, which was fitted with various propellers, split landing flaps, modified engine cowling, and other devices intended to improve overall performance. 27 F3F3s were delivered from 1938 to 1939, bringing the overall production of the F3F series to 164 aircraft. Most F3F3s were sent to VF-5, the USS Yorktown, and VF-7, the USS Wasp. The F3F2 and F3F3 were powered by a 950 horsepower Wright Cyclone R1820-22 9-cylinder single-row radial engine. This resulted in an increased diameter for the engine cowling. By 1939, all US Navy and Marine Corps fighter squadrons were equipped with F2F or F3F series aircraft, and were not withdrawn from service until 1941, in which they were relegated to training duties until November 1943. As for the specific differences between the various models, I will have a chart going up on screen right about now. As for what I think of this aircraft, I will admit that I haven't used it as extensively as some other aircraft, but I do think it is a decent aircraft in War Thunder. I mean, fully upgraded, the F3F2 has a max speed of 436 kilometers an hour at a height of 4,268 meters, a max altitude of 11,000 meters, a turn time of 15 seconds, and a rate of climb of 16 meters per second. There are some differences between what we see in game and what I can find via my research for this aircraft. Some of these differences are in real life. The aircraft has a service ceiling of about 10,120 meters and a rate of climb of about 14 meters per second. You'll notice that according to my research, the max altitude in-game is about 900 meters more than the real numbers, and the rate of climb for a fully upgraded model is about 2 meters per second higher. Now, do those differences really mean anything? I would say the answer is no. Because in Tier 1, you will very rarely, if ever, fight a fighter at anything above 2,000 meters. In my experience, most of your engagements against fighters in Tier 1 will be below 2,000 meters, and it's not uncommon for them to end up being brought all the way down to below 1,000 meters in some cases. And the rate of climb isn't anything really to write home about. When compared to German and Japanese aircraft with the same battle rating, you have the G50 Series 2, an Italian aircraft in the German tech tree, with a rate of climb of 15 meters per second when fully upgraded. You have the G50 Series 7AS with a rate of climb of 10.3 meters per second. This is the only one where the F3F3 here actually has a substantially better climb rate. You have the MC200 Series 3 with a rate of climb of 18 meters per second, better than what this aircraft has. And you have the KI-43-1 with a rate of climb of 15.3 meters per second. And so, for an aircraft of a similar battle rating, barring the G50 Series 7AS, this aircraft has a better rate of climb. But I do think this aircraft is pretty good for a Tier 1 aircraft, especially a biplane. But again, its rate of climb isn't anything to write home about when compared to aircraft of the same battle rating. Now, I do have one question for you all. When I held a poll to determine what tank would be covered next in this series, the Panzer III won. Specifically the Panzer III-E won. But with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of quick research, I found that there are not many large differences between the Panzer III-E and other Panzer III models. So my question to you all is, do you want me to cover all Panzer III models in one video? Or do you want me to make a separate video for each model? Personally, I'm leaning toward doing a separate video for each, so that each video is more focused rather than a broad history of the Panzer III. Even if that means I will have to say some of the same things over and over again. So just leave a comment letting me know which one you would prefer. Another reason why I am also somewhat leaning towards doing a separate video for each is that the videos would be of a more reasonable length. If I did one video to cover all Panzer III models, the video could go on to be close to 40 plus minutes. I don't really feel like needing to record that and render that, personally, if I can avoid it. So I am leaning towards doing one video for each model. That way I'll have a model on just the Panzer III-E, a model on just the Panzer III-F, etc., for all the different Panzer III models available in-game, and any future ones that get added. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys next time. But one quick reminder before I go. I do have a Patreon, and if you are able to afford becoming a patron of mine over there, I would appreciate it, since it would allow me to do things for the channel that require more money than being a small YouTuber provides. I will have a link in the description for those of you that wish to and can afford to become a patron. But that is it for this video, and so goodbye and farewell.
flying to the base. Take him down. A little more effort, and victory will be ours. Allied forces have captured a zone. Engaging the enemy. Let's keep the pressure on. Victory is close. victory will be ours.